rolling? Cool. Cyber Angel here. Wanting to talk about Nintendo versus Emuparadise. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. Oh, there's gonna be a muggy trip home. Alright, so here's the deal. Emuparadise, within the last week of recording this, has decided it's a website that distributes emulators and ROMs for various platforms. But they recently stopped distributing the ROMs and ISO files. The reason being is, well, from what I can understand, it was Nintendo. Now, I know at one point Emuparadise removed all their Nintendo stuff from their website, which was in the middle of some controversy where Nintendo was going after a bunch of ROM sites because they were hosting Nintendo ROMs on them. But now Emuparadise has decided, no, it's too much of a hassle. We're taking them all down. So I don't know what's going on with them behind the scenes, but as far as I'm aware, it's because of Nintendo. Nintendo has been a company that it makes great games from one side and does a bunch of shitty things on the other side. Shitty things like creating the Nintendo Creators Program for YouTube, where essentially you sign up with them and then they get like a 60% cut of your videos. Because if you don't, then any video which hits their content ID, they automatically claim monetization on the full thing. I still remember when I was doing a Let's Play of me playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the adventure mode on the hardest difficulty setting, didn't set off anything except one sound effect set the whole thing off, set off their content ID system, and they wanted to claim the monetization on the full 1 hour video. 1 hour of video, and the only clip that actually registered was a sound effect. Now, when it comes to YouTube, I've got to agree with the Let's Players. That might be your game I'm playing, but that's my gameplay. That's my voice, not yours. That is my gameplay, my experience that I'm sharing with the world, not yours. That's why it's transformative. I am not presenting the game in its entirety. I am presenting my gameplay experience. When it comes to ROM files, that's a little bit more hazy. Are they illegal? Well, technically, yes. But are they immoral? That's the problem. That's the real deal. I don't think ROMs are immoral. I think piracy actually has its place, especially considering that the game companies do not give us a lot of alternatives. One of the ones I use it for, honestly, is for boycotting. That's why there are certain movies which I downloaded because I thought they deserved to be pirated. They don't deserve to be watched, and they deserve to be hurt, and those companies deserve to be hurt by the piracy, even if it was just by a little bit of what I was doing. But piracy should also work for two other reasons. One of them is for demonstration purposes. Unfortunately, a lot of games nowadays don't have demos. You can't get a taste test. You cannot get a taste test. And sometimes the taste test that you're given is from an older build of the game. So the taste that you're getting is not the same as the taste you're going to get once you actually play the game. That was an issue I had with Skullgirls whenever it was out on Xbox on 360. Because that version, the demo version, was not the same as the full version. Not even close. All right. The other reason is for, well, archival purposes. There are some games, movies, so on and so forth, that are so old and are no longer distributed. So they need to be archived in some way, on some sort of, in some public location where everybody can get to them. And Emuparadise was great on that. Not only were they, one of the problems with a lot of a lot of ROM sites is that they will not only host, they will host a copy of the game. But it might not necessarily be the copy from your region. That's one of the things they don't tell you. It might be, for example, if you're looking for the game Terra Enigma, there's two versions of that, the Japanese and the European version. And some websites might only host the Japanese version. Wasn't so with Emuparadise. They hosted all versions. In some cases, they even hosted additional hacks of certain versions of games, which was very, very nice of them. That's how I found some of the hacks of which I've played, was because of them. But the other thing is that there are just, like I said, there are just some games that are so old that and are no longer so far out of print that there's no way to even obtain them anymore. Even Nintendo games. And they want you to go through purely legal means. As in, well, here's a good example. How about we look at Legendary Starfy? And I'm not talking about the one that came out on the Nintendo DS. No, I'm talking about Legendary Starfy. I'm talking about Starfy that came out on the Game Boy Advance. The one that was Japanese, the ones that only came out in Japan. Okay? How are the Americans supposed to experience that? Well, at best, they could buy, if they have a Game Boy Advance already, they could buy the Game Boy Advance game. Okay? We can't read Japanese. But there are patches out there that allow us to translate that from Japanese to English. How are we supposed to play that version? Well, because of what Nintendo has done, we can't anymore. We can't because of what has happened. Or we can, but it's going to be a lot harder to try and find it. Emuparadise Hat was the best website. They did not have viruses or bugs or anything like that in their files. Every single one of them worked. All their files that they posted worked. And they had multiple versions of every game, not to mention lengthy descriptions of every single one of them. It was fantastic. But with the removal of the ROMs, well, this is more about me slagging off Nintendo. You guys might make awesome games, but my God, your customer relations in this matter is terrible. Most people are saying, oh, they've got to defend their copyright. Why do they have to defend their copyright so egregiously? Either the law is so bad that they have to, or Nintendo is just being a bunch of fuckwits who have decided to egregiously go out do this. I don't like the whole situation at all. Emuparadise is fantastic. They still have all their descriptions for their games. They just don't have the download links, unfortunately. And that's disappointing. That is very disappointing. That you can no longer download the games off their sites. All because Nintendo wanted to be jerks. Want to protect their copyrights. You want to do something better, Nintendo? Give us something better than piracy. Some of us are willing to pay money. But if you're not giving us that opportunity to pay money on your games by not hosting them or not finding a way to host them on your services, then don't go after the people who are going to give us that service. My name's Cyber Angel. Fuck Nintendo. And I hope Emuparadise comes back to its former glory, or at the very least updates itself.